Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Inside the Wrapper with me, Stogie Chaz. Listen, tonight I think it's going to be a very heartwarming show. I think you guys are going to enjoy what you hear. We have D. Pitman and Kevin Schweitzer of Rockefeller Cigars, and we're going to talk about Dee's new tribute cigar to her dog, her former support dog, Gunner. So I'm just waiting for everyone to get in, and we'll get the show started. And until then, what are you guys smoking tonight? And remember, leave comments, okay? And remember always to please share, like, and subscribe. Very important. All right. I see we have Dee on board. Let me bring her in. So, Dee.
Yes.
I started telling the audience about your tribute cigar to your support dog, Gunner. Why don't you tell us, why did you come up with the cigar? What the meaning of everything is behind it?
Well, you know, I go back, I guess, to originally how I got started smoking cigars, and that was with being in the military. And, you know, you don't have the ability to sit down after a long day and say to each other, how did that make you feel? So.
Very true. For everyone else, what service, which part of the military were you in?
U.S. Army.
U.S. Army.
ER trauma nurse. So, and I served from 2001 to 2010.
We thank you for your service.
My pleasure. Thank you and everyone else listening for their support, because that's pretty significant for us. So anyway, yeah, I started smoking cigars, and then when I got out, discovered that I had some post-traumatic stress going on, and it really inhibited the way I could interact in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And I was able to basically go to work and come home, and I really didn't want to do anything other than that. The cigars were helpful, so I kept doing that after I got out of the military, and that went from a coping mechanism to a hobby to a passion. And, you know, I've been involved in different areas with cigars since then. Mm-hmm. But around 2011, I was trying to figure out, you know, how to handle some things. I live alone. I was isolating. I come home, didn't talk, didn't want to interact with anybody. I get up, go to work, come home. On a weekend, my vehicle wouldn't move out of the driveway. I didn't do anything, you know, and it wasn't like I was in the house having a party. It was dead silence. I was just, you know, the whole 9 yards. So I started looking into service dogs, and there are a lot of good organizations out there. But the way it's done is they tend to, you get an adult dog who has been trained as a service dog, and then you have to spend time traveling to them for them to teach you how to become the handler, how to use the dog. Right. The closest one I could find was an hour away from me with no traffic. And where I was at that point, that wasn't going to happen. And I knew it. Mm-hmm. I wasn't going to be able to handle that. So started looking into how to train your own service dog, because that can be done. One thing led to another, and I found a trainer in my area willing to do this. Okay. And I looked around, and I'm familiar with the Schnauzer breed. Mm-hmm. I love the dog. I love that particular breed. They have fur, so they don't shed, which I love that. And, you know, I didn't need a large dog, because a lot of times people think of service dogs as large dogs.
Right.
But it depends on what their tasks are. So I wound up with Gunner. Mm-hmm. And I got him at about 10 weeks old. and we began training him from that point forward. He was the first one that Ted D'Onofrio, my trainer, it's the first one he did as a post-traumatic stress service dog.
Okay.
And so, this dog just became, I always say he saved my life. I don't know what rabbit hole I would have continued to go down without him.
Right.
And so he saved my life from day one, because, you get a puppy and what do? You start talking to him, you start doing things. So he was immediately pulling me out of my mess. And so he went everywhere with me, because that's what they're there for. And at the time, I mean, the only place he didn't go was Nicaragua. Yeah, okay. And that was tough. Those trips to Nicaragua were tough. And tough on him too. But he went everywhere, and he got very well known in the cigar community, because wherever I was, there he was. You know what I mean? And I pretty much think that people preferred to see him rather than me. I was just living in his world. You know what I mean? But,
right. Exactly.
Yeah, he got really well known, and as a caveat to this, at some point I went to TPE, and Kevin from Rockefeller was there, and I was at their booth. Gunnar was with me, and we were chatting it up. We were sitting there having a cigar and talking and stuff. And at one point, we said it jokingly, but, it was like, oh, we ought to do a cigar for Gunnar, And so that conversation always was in the back of my mind, And then unfortunately, a little over a year ago, it was actually on Halloween, Gunnar passed, and it was very sudden. Got sick. It was, and it was devastating. I'm still not over it, but he passed. My world came crumbling in. The universe and God supplied, because not 4 days later, I have my little guy, the one I have now, Finn, who will never replace Gunnar. He's a whole different personality, which I love. And
true.
He's helping me at a different stage in my life. So, you get what you need. That's what I always say. So in the back of my mind, I just kept thinking about this with Gunnar, and sitting there and trying to process him being gone. I'm going through pictures, and I'm realizing just how many people in the cigar community knew this dog. And so it just started weighing on me. I'm like, I would love to do a dog. Yep, there he is with my dog tags on. How many people would love to have a cigar in his honor?
Right.
And so I thought about it for a while. And then I started thinking about New Jersey Dogs of Honor, because that's an organization in my area that does the service dogs the way I did them now. And they have my trainer. And that organization was born because of Gunnar. That's the reason it got created. I talked with this woman who approached me. We started talking about how I got it done. And she said, well, why can't we do this for other vets? And one thing led to another with that. And so this organization started while Gunnar was still alive. In fact, if you go on the website and go to their about information, you will see the story, and Gunnar's picture. That picture you just showed will be on there.
Why don't you give us the website?
So it's very simple. njdogsofhonor.com.
njdogsofhonor.com. Everyone go out there and definitely support what you can. It's a very important cause.
Yeah.
And I remember at Lazona, you and I talked about this, and your new dog is great, by the way. I know Jeff Todd had a blast with him.
He's just absolutely, he's a stunning dog to look at. He's just absolutely gorgeous. Same breed, Schnauzer. In fact, he came from the same place, and he just graduated his basic service dog right before Lazona. It was in October there, and so he continues to train. and
Right.
he's doing super. In fact, the trip to Lizona was his first flight.
Okay.
Um, but this is why this passion for doing this cigar uh, came about,
Okay.
and portions of the proceeds will go to New Jersey Dogs of Honor. So that was the other piece of it.
Right.
Look, there's a million cigars out there. Don't we all know it? Those of us with, two towers in our house, and
Yeah.
we know, right? I don't have
More
a problem.
more
Right.
cigars than we cared to admit
Right.
to.
That I'll ever smoke in my lifetime, right? But
Exactly.
I wanted a cigar with purpose, if that makes sense. I've been in the
Oh,
service
absolutely.
fields all my life, and I wanted something that had some, yeah. Look, a lot of cigars have meaning, names and where they come from and stuff. But for me, I'm not a, this is a limited edition thing that it may turn into an annual for me. I have some other ideas, but um, what better fitting tribute to Gunner
Absolutely.
than to do that? So that's how this idea was born. I contacted Kevin because I never forgot that conversation.
Right. And we have
And
Kevin with us.
okay, yeah, and
So
Kevin,
we'll bring him on.
he's
We'll
been,
bring him on in a second. But what I
yeah.
want to ask you is what is the production run, and how are they going to be sold and everything else?
So it's just little old me. So I did a 1,000 run.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I'm not going to put all 1,000 up because I want to hang on to some for some other things. But they're going to be 900 will be released, and they're going to be. I thought it was more feasible for people to do a 5-pack.
Great idea.
So they'll be sold in 5-packs. They are going to be released. I can tell you this officially now. I still don't have a date pinned down for sure. Hoping for January.
Okay. First quarter.
They will be released through Caravan Cigars.
Okay. Great.
Okay.
Okay.
So, and I know Brian's on somewhere. He's not, he's listening. Yeah.
Brian, Ted, his whole family, they do a great job at Caravan.
Yeah.
We've known them for years.
Yeah.
And another small family-owned business that's thrived. Started basically from, I guess his trunk, and actually went into a store.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he's been open. I don't know how many years now. Is it 5 years, maybe?
It's probably longer than that, Chaz.
Could be.
I've
Okay.
discovered if I think it's 5 years, then I better add a couple to it because time just
Same
flies.
Yeah, I know.
Mm-hmm.
I know how it goes. So I want to bring Kevin on. This way he can add to our conversation as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Kevin, can you hear us? I don't hear your voice. No volume as of yet. All right. Well, he's working on that. So you're going to release 5-packs through Caravan, and do we know what the price point is going to be at this point?
At this point, I think we're looking at about $52 for a 5-pack.
Okay. All right.
Okay, and like I said, we're going to do the 5-packs. I thought it was better. I can tell you this: it is a Toro.
Mm-hmm. My favorite size.
Yeah, it's a Rockefeller. They hit it out of the ballpark for me. Kevin listened to what I wanted, with the flavors and the tobaccos that I wanted, and they hit it out of the ballpark. And I think it's the kind of cigar that anybody can smoke, whether you're beginner. Our audio is not working well tonight, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, try again.
All right. That's all right. Well, we'll continue until that point.
Mm-hmm. But
so tell us a little bit more about the cigar. What kind of wrapper are we looking at?
So I wanted something. I guess the way I explained it is that I tried to blend the cigar based on Gunner's personality. That's sort of what I was looking to do. I wanted to, kind of curve it that way. And Gunner was the kind of dog that he just, he could be very playful. So I wanted a little bit of spice. There we go.
Kevin, welcome to the show.
What's up, Chaz? What's up, D?
Hey, Kevin.
Happy to be here.
Yeah.
So we're just talking about the makeup of the cigar.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to talk about the tobaccos, Kevin? Yeah, go ahead.
Well, first of all, when Dee came to me with this idea, I love Dee. She supported me from the very beginning. I met Gunner. I loved Gunner. And I remember saying that to you when we were in Vegas. Absolutely.
Yep.
And when she came to me, I thought it was a great idea. I used to rescue greyhounds. I rescued 5 greyhounds, so I'm a big dog lover. Love dogs, right? And her schnauzer was special. From remembering Gunner.
Yeah.
And so
absolutely.
So she came to me with an idea, and in my head I go to Nicaragua a lot, and I thought about what we can do, what kind of cigar it should be, and I thought it should be a small gauge cigar, right? It's an Ecuadorian Habano cigar with certain Nicaraguan fillers. So it's got jalapa, it's got Ometepe, and it's got Esteli in it. So it's got a lot. Nice. The Viso leaf, so it's the 4th and 5th priming. So it's the higher priming. It's not up to the Lajero yet, but it's pretty good, and it's got beautiful full flavor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was saying that I feel anybody can smoke it, and that's what I wanted. It's like, it's not so strong that somebody that doesn't hit the fuller bodied cigars can't smoke it. But those that like fuller body are not going to say, oh, this doesn't have enough for me. And to me, it was the perfect blend that represented Gunner's personality. He had a little spice sometimes, but he was smooth. He was earthy. He was creamy. That was him. And that's what you get out of this cigar. It's just, aside from the fact Ometepe is one of my favorite. I love that in a cigar because it just brings that earthy tone and melds the other flavors together really nicely.
Fantastic.
And we didn't use a lot of Ometepe, but we used enough. So it's got that citrusy type of taste out of the volcanic soil. It's great.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So it's been a labor of love, and Kevin has been, Rockefeller's been fantastic doing this. And I'm smoking one of your Dominican Blues. Yeah, Pigtail. Yeah, I love this cigar. Got a couple years of age on it.
Oh, it must be really good. That's one of my everyday cigars.
Yeah, that's good.
And for those of you who don't know about Rockefeller cigars, you really should. Kevin, why don't you just give us a little bit about the Rockefeller cigars?
So
give us a little info.
So I bought the company in 2016, and I love smoking cigars. I've always loved smoking cigars, and I always say that, everyone sees me in a lot of lounges hanging out, because at the end of the day, I'm just another cigar smoker. Yes, I own a. We've taken the brand from a small little boutique brand that I bought to unbelievable. Next year we should be in Europe. I mean, I can't say enough about what we're doing with this brand. We're starting to move into different areas in the country. The cigars come out of Nicaragua at a factory called American Caribbean.
Okay.
A blender named Jose Valdez, which is nicknamed Lolito. And he's a 4th-generation Cuban grower out of Pinar del Rio.
Nice.
Maduro, Habano are actually coming out with a new Sumatra, Cameroon, everything out of that factory. And he does a wonderful job of making cigars. And when I first went down there, to me it was like I was like a kid at a candy store. But I knew nothing about cigars, right? I was just a cigar smoker. I thought I knew nothing. But after about the 12th, 13th time going down there, you start you're smoking fumas and stuff like that, and your palate starts to develop. And then right. So when you pick up a cigar, and which sucks, I just like to smoke them, but now I critique them sometimes. And when you pick up a cigar, you can taste those flavors popping out in your mouth. You really can. Each different flavor of the leaf. And that's what I've started to develop. And by no means do I know a lot, right? Compared to these guys. I need to even keep learning. But my favorite part of the industry and the business is blending and the people.
Okay.
Right. Having the conversations when we do events about what's in the cigar and what their palate's like. That to me, I love doing that and finding out what people like. Then we have another factory in the Dominican Republic called Tabacalera L&V. The gentleman who made the Dominican Blue, we have Old Dominican line. His name is Victor de la Cruz. Victor de la Cruz was production manager during Davidoff during Tobacco Dom days in the 1980s.
Okay.
So it's a very unique niche special factory in the DR. But him and Leandro Compre and Hardy are well known in the Dominican Republic for very, very long. So when we first came out with that Dominican Blue, we originally came out with it in a Corojo. And it was powerhouse. It was too strong. And I said, listen, I want a cigar that everybody's like with my palate and their palate.
Right.
So he started working on a different line. We changed it up a little bit. And we put Connecticut broadleaf in the fillers and we created the Dominican Blue line. And it came out wonderful.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, Kevin, I want you to talk, but I don't want you to talk too much because I actually want to have you on the show.
Oh, okay.
This way we can take, and what we do inside the wrapper is we take a deep dive into
I was popping
into
on
a brand.
like a holiday party to go to, and I just got hit by a storm in an hour and a half, 95. So.
Oh, are you here in Florida today?
Oh yeah, I live down here.
Oh, you're in Florida. Yeah, I know you live down here. I wasn't sure if you traveled.
Oh, okay. Road trips coming up, but yeah, I'm in Florida.
Okay. So yeah, it's been a little bit nasty down here, especially for winter time. A surprising amount of rain that we've had, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but this is our dry season, folks.
Right.
So
Oh boy.
we don't like when it rains all the time.
But you got all the people from season down here creating this traffic. Now that I'm a Floridian.
Now you want them all to go back up north.
Yeah, get the hell out of here.
Forget about it. Go. I've had enough of you
I
people.
love it.
Yeah.
I know. I get them every day. Don't worry about it. So
But
Kevin,
you guys are gonna love this cigar that we made for D. It's an excellent cigar with excellent
fantastic,
priming of the leaf. You're gonna love it.
excellent.
It's fabulous, really. And like I said, it's just I'm starting to put out a few pictures of the label so people can see, because I will say this about the label. I designed it because I didn't want so you think to yourself, okay, this is in honor of and memory of somebody who's passed, and so I wanted to put like a picture of him, but then I didn't want it to be kind of like, oh, Gunner, you know what I mean? He was about making everybody happy and smile. So it has a lot of bright colors. His picture is very bright. I think, did I send you a picture of the box of the labels, Chaz?
Yes.
Yes.
You sent me a photo.
Yeah, if you want to put that up, you can. But it kind of gives that, hopefully, that smile, that brightfulness, that cheerfulness that he gave to so many people. So that's what I was after.
Awesome, fantastic. Mm-hmm. Kevin, I'm gonna let you go at this point. I'm gonna continue with D, but again, you're welcome back on the show. I'll reach out to you. You let me know when it's going to be a good time, and I definitely want to get that set up with you, and we'll take a deep dive into Rockefeller cigars.
Sounds great, guys. Have a good night.
Kevin, thanks. I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, D. So let's talk about not just Gunner, but let's talk about you. I mean, you are Dojo Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
As am I. So we've got some Dojo royalty on the line here today.
Yes, we do.
All right. And, I get to see you at Lazona Palooza. This was for first year in a couple of years since you were there.
Yeah.
We had COVID and we had everything else going on.
Yeah.
But it was great to see. It was great to sit down and talk with you and talk about this project in particular.
Yeah.
And just get to chit chat and BS. And, I know myself, Jeff, we all had a great time sitting with you and just, BSing away. We really did.
Oh, yeah.
So I have some comments here Let me quickly go through. Let's see here. See if anybody's got questions, please post them in the comments. And there's my boy, Jerome Berry. He is such a great guy, isn't he?
He is. He's awesome.
And then you have Jeff, Todd.
Yeah.
All right. And we know how much he loves Finn.
Yes, he does.
Finn.
Mm-hmm.
And then stop talking about me.
Oh, and his wife let him back in the house, I guess, without bringing him home.
Yeah. A very funny story. Jeff, I took a photo with Jeff. He just had the dog. I wish I had the photo here. I didn't put it on. But he just had the dog in his arm, and Finn just went crazy. Fell in love with Jeff. Jeff fell in love with him. Sent it to his wife, and his wife said, "Bring it home."
That would have been an ugly brawl. Two old people trying to kick each other's butt, you know?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. We also have Kevin Hughes here.
It's actually Karen. Okay.
Karen. Okay. Well, hello, Kevin and Karen. We missed you at Lazona. We really did.
Yeah.
We hope we get to see you next year. We've got Fast Eddie here. And
hey, bro.
We've got more from Caravan. And yeah, Caravan guys, I want to have you on the show as well. So let's definitely make that happen.
Mm-hmm.
We got some other comments that I'm just going to keep putting up here. But again, if you guys have questions for D, please post them in the comments. I'm watching. Now I'm watching. I didn't see it before, but I'll put them up on the screen and we can ask away. But let's go back to you as a cigar smoker. So you started in the Army. Mm-hmm. It helped you with your PTSD, obviously.
Yeah, it still does. Yeah.
And then your service animal helped you out tremendously.
Yes.
But, tell us, what kind of cigars do you gravitate to nowadays? I mean, you're a cigar smoker for how many years?
Well, 22, 23 years now, I guess.
So you smoked a couple of cigars.
Yeah, just a few. As I told you, I don't have a problem. I got 2 towers in my house, and it's only me. So yeah,
there we go.
Well, it's sort of that evolution. That's what I always say, and it's like, it's kind of funny being on this side of the line now and watching people just starting to smoke and watching that whole evolution. If they get really serious about cigars, where their palates go and what they're after. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they go for stronger cigars or fuller body cigars. It doesn't necessarily mean that. I know right away I think about Jack Tarano. He loves his Connecticut's.
Yes.
There's a man that's been smoking for years, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's not, I think that's important to, you have your favorites.
We all tend to gravitate to things differently,
yes.
because our palates want. Sometimes I just want a Connecticut. That's all I want.
Yeah,
and that's all I'll smoke for the day or whatever. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I just want Maduros or Habanos. That's the way I go. I've gone from big ring gauge down to, 46 is mm-hmm. really perfect for me right now.
Yeah,
but I'll go up to a 52, 54. But in that range, I'm very happy.
Well, I think you just touched on something. If I were to talk about probably what changed the most over the course of time, was the vitolas of cigars that I smoked. I never was a 6x60 smoker anyway, but I wouldn't mind doing a 56 or something like that, mm-hmm. The bigger cigar, because you think you're getting more out of it or whatever when you first start. And now, I mean, I'm more of a Corona Gorda.
Okay.
Robusto, Toro. If it's not a big ring gauge, that's what you're going to see. That's what you're going to see with mine. I think it's a 50, 50 by 6. So it's actually, it feels good in the hand. Mm-hmm. It's comfortable. I think the ratio tobaccos for me, they always seem to be the best in that range. So that has evolved a lot. I tend toward more earthy. I like the leathers, the coffees, the chocolates,
Mhm.
but I also like that jalapa in there. Get that little bit of sweet, get that little bit of, spice. I don't mind some pepper
Right.
going in and out. I don't like a cigar that's 100% pepper all the way through, banging you in the face so bad that you really probably miss out on all the nuanced. I like nuanced cigars, something that
Right.
that makes me think about what I'm smoking. And that's not to say that cigars that are what I call more one-dimensional are not out of the question for me. If I've
Mhm.
had a long day at work and I don't want to think, I'm going to gravitate toward a cigar like that because I don't have to think. I know what it's going to be, and I know it's going to be that way all the way through it.
Okay.
So I'm not looking for the changes. I'm not looking for the transitions. But um, if you were to ask me, and my palate's all across the board. So again, I'm sort of like you, Chaz. Depends on my mood.
Yeah,
Depends on my
absolutely.
mood. A lot of times in the morning, Protocol Themis or a knuckle sandwich Connecticut, which I've discovered is very, very nice.
Two great
Um,
cigars
yeah,
with coffee.
yeah, and one of my all-time favorite Connecticut's from a way back, and can't get them so much anymore. Or you can, but it's Room 101, the Big Payback Connecticut.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's like smoking butter. So, so those are, Connecticut's, but I can think of like a ton of different, cigars. But then when you start getting into, um, Maduros, and I actually like Oscuro cigars.
Mm,
Because that dark tobacco gets that sweetness in there too a little bit, so you
yeah.
get that balance. So that's sort of where I'm at. Like I'll just smoke, I'll try anything once or twice.
Uh, Espinosa, Laurent Escuro, and the
Yes,
Davidoff Escuro, both
yeah,
phenomenal cigars.
yeah. Davidoff probably my favorite, and I'm coming up on that time because I have a new little tradition. Right around Christmas is um, the late hour. Love that
Very
cigar.
good cigar. It's a great cigar.
Love that cigar, and I'll have it.
Expensive, but it's great.
It is, but you gotta
It's
splurge
worth
once
it.
in a while for yourself. It's worth it for me,
Yeah.
and I'll have that I'll pair it with an espresso martini.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Yes.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, and it is just it's banging. It's great. It's really a nice cigar. So then I go into like I have expensive tastes, and it didn't set out to be this way, but it's just where my palate goes. Arturo,
Doesn't make you bad.
no, it doesn't. Arturo Fuente, give me any of the Don Carlos, um, anniversaries and things like that. I'm going to gravitate toward them because there's
Absolutely.
just something about them that is, I prefer usually the Añejo
Mhm.
over the Opus,
Right.
unless you can get me an Angel Share, which see, I'm
Yeah.
hitting all your spots.
Oh, yes, you are. Yes, you are. That Angel
Mhm.
Share. Oh,
Yeah, that Angel Share to me was probably one of the best Opus X's I've ever had.
oh, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
They're
Mhm.
they're 858.
Mm-hmm.
The Casa Fuente, the Cameroon.
Mm-hmm.
Gorgeous cigars. Absolutely gorgeous cigars.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, have you
Very
tried it?
gorgeous.
Got to ask you, have you tried the what is it? The Year of the Dragon? Have you tried that yet?
No, I haven't gone into any of those.
Mm-hmm.
I probably should at some point, but
Yeah.
it from my price point, it's a little above my price point.
Yeah. Well, I think it's above probably most of us. I haven't tried it yet either, but I've heard some really good things about it, like more so than I have some of the most recent ones. So,
Okay.
mm-hmm. But on everyday cigars, I said, well, I'm going to say this blue, this Dominican
Yeah.
blue, you can't beat this thing.
No.
This
No.
is a great cigar. This gives me that earthy. This gives me that rich, because that's the other thing I like in cigars is that richness. I like some depth to my cigars. So this does it. I like a meaty cigar sometimes, that makes me, I never understood people that would sit there and eat and still smoke a cigar at the same time. I understand it now. Give me a good steak and a good meaty cigar, and I'm gonna eat and smoke my cigar.
It's true. Yeah. I mean, I know my wife looks at me. She goes, "What are you doing?" I said, "Yeah, I'm having a cigar while I'm eating." It's like, how do you do that? It's really easy. It's actually it's good. I enjoy it.
Yeah, it blends really nicely sometimes.
Yeah, if you're not a cigar smoker, nobody gets it.
No, you're not gonna get it.
But yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, I say hi to Ronnie. He just popped up there. So he just reached out and talked to me before. So I'll be.
Ronnie's a good man. He's a good man.
Yeah.
They have a great show.
Yeah, I think he thought I was ignoring him. I don't go on Facebook a lot, and I usually get on, do my business, and get off. And so I'm really guilty of not looking at friend requests and all kinds of stuff.
You know what? I am equally as guilty as of late. I would be posting everywhere, and it just after a while and Ronnie says thank you, by the way.
Thank you, Ronnie.
It's just sometimes it becomes a little too daunting, and I'm trying to really grow my channel here and get that going. So again, folks, if you're enjoying your content that you're watching, please think about doing a like, share, and subscribe. It really helps the algorithm with YouTube. Dee, I know you did YouTube for a little while as well. It's not the easiest thing in the world, and I'm not looking to be KMA. I'm not looking to be Dojo. I do my thing. I do what I like. I interview people that things that interest me the most, and I like just doing one-on-one interviews with folks in the industry, folks outside the industry. I had a couple guys from the Wrecking Crew on one episode. I'm having you on as well because there's a lot of interesting folks out there who have a great story to tell, and yours is very heartwarming. It really is. And I know when we talked about it at Lazona, it really touched me, and that's why I told you I'd really like to have you on. I'm glad we made this happen before the release of the cigar.
Yeah,
so I'm definitely looking forward to it. I'll definitely be making a purchase. So if you guys are Caravan are listening, please mark down a 5-pack with my name on it. I will be ordering it. Okay. I don't want to hear that you're out. Just make sure you mark one. The Godfather wants you to make one for me. All right.
I'm hoping. My instinct tells me that these things are gonna, get going pretty fast. Because, like I said, it's about Gunner. I mean, and that, like I said, that dog was like, his passport probably had more stamps on it than mine. Like Colorado, California, in between, Florida, I don't know how many times, Vegas. I mean, this dog was everywhere. And,
So you took him out to see Kevin and Karen?
Yeah. I was out there a couple times with them, and you couldn't help but love that dog. I mean, he just, same with Finn, but they're just, but he was just a special guy. I always said that he was my spiritual boy. We had a very spiritual connection, him and I, and he could look at me, and I swear he saw into my soul, and he just knew. He just, like, one of the things I guess I might want to touch on, and if you're interested in, is what do they Gunner personally stayed at our house.
and folks, if you don't know Karen and Kevin, they're two phenomenal people.
Yes.
I don't have enough adjectives to describe them, but they're great to be around.
Yeah.
They're a lot of fun. And they're great cigar smokers.
Yeah.
Kevin taught me a lot about cigar photography with my phone.
Yes.
And Karen is just as sweet as can be. Just a beautiful soul. And, I just, like I said, there's not enough adjectives to describe them. And, you and I, we both appreciate them.
Yeah,
for
absolutely.
their friendship and everything else that goes with that.
Yeah, and I did. Made a few trips. In fact, I haven't seen them since before COVID, and it's really it's been a struggle because I consider them brother and sister, and it's she's my little sis, and
Mhm.
I always tell her, I said we would have to pick. I live all the way on the East Coast, you live all the way on the West Coast, but I think once I retire, it'll be a little easier, and I'll be able to do that. But great people. We've smoked many cigars in their 112-degree weather with the misting sprinklers going, and but lots of great memories. And like I said, Gunnar was there. In fact, the first time I went there, there's a picture somewhere. I was supposed to call them. I flew into LA, and they're about an hour drive from there. And I was driving, and she told me to call her from I forget where, the Grapevine or something. And I didn't. I just kept coming. And I got to the house, and so I get out and I go knock on the door or whatever, and there's nobody home.
Mhm.
Sort of like, yeah, come out and see us. We're leaving. So the best part is this, always entertainment. I always say that I am on some level. I'm going to entertain somebody.
Absolutely.
Their son's pickup truck was in the driveway, and the driveway was on an angle, and the truck was sitting this way. So the back end, to get in the back of the truck, wasn't your normal. There was this huge space, right? And I'm pretty beat up from the military, man. My knees, everything, right? I put the tailgate down, and I put Gunnar on the tailgate, and then I claw my way up into this truck. Right? So if anybody was watching that in their neighborhood, make some popcorn and sit and watch this middle-aged woman trying to get up in this truck. And they pulled up, and that's where I was sitting, was on the tailgate, me and Gunnar waiting for
There
him.
you go.
So that was my first visit out there. But
fantastic.
Lots of good memories. And like I said, he went to the Rocky Mountain Cigar Fest. Like I said, TPE. He all over the place. This dog went, and so it's been pretty cool to realize the memories that I have from him, and just all the things that he taught me and all the things that he did for me. Yes, few stories from that visit. Yeah. Without getting into much detail, too, Gunnar got into a little bit of a dogfight out there.
Oh, God.
It was awesome. Oh, my God. It was awesome. And he got a little cut on his head, and he comes strutting up to the patio just like, what's up? The little ones, like little, oh, my God. So, yeah, he was definitely a character. And
hey, forget about it. Don't worry. I took care of the guy.
Yeah, that was pretty much it. Just like, I don't know what you guys are like worried about. Everything's fine.
Yeah. I got a little scratch. Nothing.
I got it. Yeah. So, but service dog tasks. Do you ever wonder what the dogs do for post-traumatic stress?
No.
Because a lot of times,
I should say yes. I don't know though.
Yeah, because a lot of times people. So you hear a lot about emotional support dogs. Andrew, yeah. Thank you, brother. Go Army, beat Navy. I had to say that to you. Oh, wait, they did.
It was a sad game for Navy.
I'm not even going there. I don't want to create any enemies. People think of emotional support dogs, and they tend to think because you have post-traumatic stress that the dog is more of an emotional support dog.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the difference between an emotional support dog and a service dog is that a service dog has actual tasks that they must perform to help you with your disability. Okay. So it's not enough that when I hold them, I feel comforted. That's an emotional support dog. So there's many things, that people with post-traumatic stress deal with. And one of the big things is going out in public, because you really don't you know, without getting into all the reasons why, but I require a large amount of space around me.
Okay.
So going out into stores and things like that, not being able to watch my back, not being able to have space between me.
Okay.
Early on, before I had Gunner, I usually tell this little story. I was in an Acme market and I had to go up to the customer service. Customer service was basically 6 foot from the end of the checkout lines. So you didn't have a lot of space behind you. I'm
Right.
waiting up at the counter, and this man comes up to get in line behind me, and he's probably 6 inches from me.
Oh,
And I can't. I'm like the Tasmanian devil. I'm doing this because it's like
mhm.
I can't. Literally got to the point where I turned around and I actually put my hands up and was getting ready to shove him.
Okay.
Okay. That was one of the many signs that told me that, oh, this was not going to be good. I need to,
Right.
and so to avoid those situations, you just don't go out.
Yeah.
So you just isolate. So one of the things post-traumatic stress dogs can do is get behind you and create space. They don't need to be big. Finn, if I tell him back, will get behind me and walk directly behind me.
Right.
I can put him there if I'm shopping.
Okay.
Or I can have him turned around watching my back, and he will alert if somebody's coming up too fast on me.
And how does he alert you?
He'll probably let out a bark.
Okay.
Let out a quick bark and alert me so that I know and I'm not startled, because the instinct when we're startled, some of us, is to swing or things like that, because you just it's just what's built into you at this point. When I drive, Finn is learning this. Gunner was very good at it. They're not trying to look out the window like dogs do.
Right.
You're watching you drive. If they sense, Gunner was so good that he would alert me. I wouldn't even know how I was feeling sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And he would react to what was going on and come over and get his paw or his head on my leg.
Oh, interesting.
Okay, so that I would start to settle down, or relax instead of getting amped up,
All right.
Yeah. So there's a lot of things. And then you will see, like, I'll pick Finn up and put him on my chest. Now, I hate having seatbelts or anything else across me. I don't like being restrained in any way.
Right.
But there's something different with the dog. It's like deep pressure therapy.
Mm-hmm.
And it allows me to take that deep breath and just. So that's just a few of the things that you can teach them. And,
Interesting.
yeah.
Did not know any of that.
Yeah. Yeah. So, they're very task oriented. So that's what I said. It helps tremendously, because you can go out and you don't have to worry about what's going on behind you or coming up, or anything like that. So you can, actually function a little bit better. So,
That's great. That's great. Well, I'm going to be wrapping things up here. Let everyone know when the cigars are going to come out, where they're going to be, about how much they're going to cost, quantity wise. Let's go through that again real quick.
All right. So yeah, we're doing a run of there's probably going to be about 900 cigars for sale. They're going to be sold in 5-packs, so I think that comes out to about 180 5-packs. They're going to be running about $52 a pack. They will be released at Caravan Cigar up in Pennsylvania, and they will be released in person and online at the same time. There's not going to be any pre-post. It's at the same time. I want everybody to have a fair shot, and it's going to be in January. I got to get Kevin pinned down exactly on a date. We have something in mind, but I don't want to say anything yet until I know for sure. But we're looking at January, and I'm excited. And some of the proceeds are going to go to New Jersey Dogs of Honor to help pair up other veterans with dogs and get them trained to service dogs for post-traumatic stress. So it's a
that website again?
Yeah, njdogsofhonor.com.
njdogsofhonor.com.
Yeah.
Please make sure you go out there. Look for D and the release with Caravan. I think it's a very, very great cause. I think it's a phenomenal thing that you've done, and I think this will help other people as well. At least I hope it does. It should. If you watch, I definitely think it will help and give people a better insight into what these animals can do when they're well trained.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
because some of the you mentioned I had really had no idea at all.
Yeah. Yeah, they're phenomenal. And like I said, I can't imagine my life now without that. It's yeah, it's what can I say? So, to all my vet buddies out there, thank you for your service. Everybody who has served, those who are still serving, thank you. Those who support us, thank you. So that pretty much entails everybody. So
Definitely. And hang in there just a sec. I echo all of Diana's thoughts in terms of service. We thank you all, and we're very appreciative for everything that you do, not just military, but also our police, our emergency medical people, firemen, firewomen that are out there. So we really appreciate you guys. And that's pretty much going to be it. Everyone, just always remember, inside every wrapper, a story waits to be told. Dee, thank you so much for your time. It's been an absolute pleasure.
it's been an honor.
And
Thank you.
and I really do look forward to the cigars coming out.
You got
All right, everyone. Thank you for watching. We appreciate you. And make sure you stay tuned for the next episode, which will be coming up. I'll be announcing it shortly. Thank you, Dee.
Thank you.
All right, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the show. Again, remember to like, share, subscribe. It really does help with the algorithm. I'll flash this up here real quick for you. And then we will say goodnight. And that concludes this episode of Inside the Wrapper.